Scientists just got the FDA approval to test a treatment that would literally reverse aging in humans.
Back in 1983, something incredible happened that people still argue about to this day.
What in the world is Lady Gaga doing here, guys?
You guys need to watch the intro to this Melanie Martinez concert. This might be one of
Welcome back to Chill Spot. If you thought you'd seen every scary video out there, think again. We've uncovered forgotten footage, eerie encounters, and spine-tingling clips that defy explanation. Friends, your bravery is about to be tested from shadowy streets to haunted hallways. Which one would you dare to visit? Be sure to join the conversation in the comments and subscribe so you never miss another mystery.
Thank you all for the amazing support, and welcome to all our new channel members. Welcome to today's video.
Back in 1983, something incredible happened that people still argue about to this day. One of the most famous magicians in the world, David Copperfield, performed a stunt that looked completely impossible. He crossed the massive Grand Canyon by flying through the air over the huge canyon. Under him were hundreds of meters of empty space and sharp rocks far below. The strangest part was that no one could see any wires, no platforms, and no visible support holding him up. The whole scene was filmed from a helicopter, so people couldn't say it was some simple camera trick. In the footage, you can see him just floating through the air like it takes no effort at all. He moves slowly between the cliffs, looking totally calm and relaxed, like nothing about it is dangerous. The distance he traveled was huge, and many experts say it would be almost impossible to stretch an invisible cable across something that big. After a while, he finally reaches the other side of the canyon and lands calmly, like it's the most normal thing in the world. Ever since then, people have been debating how he actually did it. Some believe it was just an incredibly perfect illusion, while others think he used some kind of technology people didn't know about back then. But even today, there's still no clear explanation for how he managed to fly across the Grand Canyon. So what do you think really happened?
Isn't it strange that we're all constantly using our smartphones, 24/7 nonstop, but when it comes to dreams, nothing. You don't see them, you don't use them, nothing. Ask your friends, your family. Have they ever seen their phone in a dream? Or their laptop, their smartwatch? Almost never. Here's where it gets interesting. Some people think this could prove we're living in a simulation. If you think about it, maybe there's some kind of energy, some force in this system that doesn't want us to notice certain things when we're in that state. Like if you saw your phone while dreaming, it could break the illusion, right? You'd start questioning, why am I wasting so much time scrolling instead of truly living? Most people are stuck in a low vibration, just going through life, unaware. But what happens when someone raises their vibration? When they see the simulation for what it is? If enough people realize their phones are distractions, tools to keep them trapped, it would change everything. A happier, spiritually aware world? Sure. But it'd be a massive profit loss for those at the top.
This is probably the most famous reincarnation story that there is, and this is a story of Shanti Devi. Shanti was born in Delhi in 1926, and from the age of 3, she began telling her parents about her previous life, including the town that she lived in called Mutra, which was about 80 miles from where the family actually lived. Shanti always stuck to her story, and if anything, it just became more detailed. She remembered her old name, and she told her parents that she was called Lugdi. She also told her mother that she was born in 1902. The details that she was given was not something a child would pull out of thin air. As Shanti got a little bit older, she told her mum that she used to actually be married. She was married to a man called Kedarnath Chobi. She said that they had a child together, and it was at that moment that Shanti started to remember how she died. She claimed that 10 days after giving birth to her son, everything went black, and the only thing that she remembers after that is being Shanti. By the age of 9, Shanti was still very much insistent on her past life claims. By this point, her family very much believed her, so they decided to write a letter to her former husband to see if he existed. By the way, if you enjoy these types of stories, hit the like and repost, show the page some love. It helps the page to grow and it also allows me to continue making stories like this. Anyway, they found out that the guy that Shanti claimed to be married to did in fact exist, and he did in fact live in that town 80 miles away called Mutra. He actually decided to come and visit Shanti with a family member, and she immediately identified him. The following year, in 1936, it was actually organised by the local committee for Shanti to go and visit Mutra. Bearing in mind, Shanti had never left her hometown, but this was to see if she could recognise places and people and verify her claims. When they arrived at the town of Mutra, they got off at the train station where Shanti recognised a woman in a crowd. It turned out later that that woman was in fact a relative of the man that Shanti claimed to have married. She was then asked if she could make her own way to her former home, and with no instructions or help, Shanti did. In fact, she led them all the way to her former husband's house, pointing out things, buildings and details along the way. Before entering the house, she then gave a detailed explanation of the house, where the bedrooms were, how many bedrooms there were, how many bathrooms there were, and even what the back garden looked like. All of which were absolutely true. Yes, the house had been redecorated, but the layout remained the same. But this is where the story gets crazy. Shanti claims that she actually hid some money in that house. So she took them to the exact spot inside of the house, which was the corner of the room under a floorboard that just so happened to be loose. So they took the floorboard up, and inside of the floorboard they found a jar with a few belongings in, but there was no money. Later in that visit, Shanti's claimed husband did actually come round and admit that he found that jar and he actually took the money. And the fact that because Shanti knew it was there, that was enough for him not only to admit he had took the money, but also believe every single word that Shanti was saying because nobody else knew about that jar. This then became the biggest reincarnation case, with doctors, experts and psychologists all studying Shanti's story. They say that all 24 of her statements were not only verified and true, but there was absolutely no incorrect details. Is this proof that reincarnation is absolutely real?
Reincarnation has always been a baffling subject, and I know it has some truth into it, considering energy never dies but changes from one form to another, where our spiritual energy returns back to Earth in a different physical form.
Scientists just got the FDA approval to test a treatment that would literally reverse aging in humans, and the first patients are being enrolled right now. This is obviously insane. This company called Life Biosciences just got the green light from the FDA to test the first ever cellular rejuvenation therapy on actual humans. And if you're like me, you obviously don't know what that means. They figured out how to use 3 specific genes to essentially factory reset your cells back to a younger state. This is not to slow down aging, it's not to treat symptoms, it's actually to reverse the aging process at a cellular level. Dude, this already worked in animals. They took old mice that had lost their vision and they restored it to levels of young mice. And by the way, that only took 4 weeks. In another study that they performed, they extended the lifespan by 109% over the control group, which is more than double. The first official human trials are targeting eye diseases, specifically glaucoma and optic nerve damage. Patients for this trial are enrolled right now, with the results expected by the end of this year. They're saying that this is not going to be available to the public for years, but the fact that we are testing this right now on humans is a line that we have never crossed. Dude, if this works, it changes everything that we know. So
the Destiny swappers, if you touch your elbow on somebody, yeah. But there are actual Destiny swappers that don't need the elbow. What do they do? There's 2 types of Destiny swappers. The first one wants to be exactly like you, right? And listen, listen. Yeah. So he'll try to play the long game. So he'll try to be your friend, take all your sauce, take all your outline, and eventually have so much knowledge that he's just like, defriends you because he has your sauce already. Who did this? Kim Kardashian and Paris Hilton. Kim Kardashian latched on to Paris Hilton until she got all that sauce and then was like, did her own. Here's the time to blow up. I'm gonna do that whole tape to finally go. The other one, they don't want to be you. They want your lifestyle. And they'll get super close to your significant other, especially if your significant other is a provider. Once they see that opportunity where you guys are shaky, they'll try to scoop in for the opportunity to take that lifestyle.
That girl? Oh, so she becomes the provider.
Yeah.
Yo, that's some cult shit.
Yeah. Dangerous.
You can't survive without protection. Holy. Because you can see that throughout Hollywood. Yo, Diddy did that.
Yeah, straight up.
As you know, the fashion industry can get very dark, and the runways, especially during Paris Fashion Week, are very edgy with a lot of symbolism. But bringing Marilyn Manson into this, they're not hiding it anymore. This takes it to a whole nother level. This is a man that has the sigil of Lucifer tattooed onto his hand. Just takes a quick Google search to find that out. But watch what he did during his little runway strut intro. It's just very dark.
An angel dies and falls from heaven. When the boy is still a worm, it's hard to learn the number 7. 5, 6, 7, 8, never.
At the beginning of the evolution, it seems. And we are here with creatures, and I'm at the top of the pyramid.
What in the world is Lady Gaga doing here, guys? Huh? What is she doing right here, guys? It's a skeleton. It's gone already, bro. It's not alive. What is up with Lady Gaga, bro? She's hugging it. Shh. No. Yo. What is going on with Lady Gaga? Who is this right here? Huh? Who is this, bro? No. Remember? She is definitely living up to this. Because, like I said before, guys, something is going on with Lady Gaga and people are concerned. That's why I gotta keep showing you guys about Lady Gaga, bro. I don't know who's designing this type of drip. Now, this one right here has people worried. They're worried, and I am too. Lady Gaga is multiple people by herself. She don't need nobody else. You know why? Because this video is for entertainment purposes only, and Lady Gaga is just doing what she does. She performs and she puts on a show for everybody. People are saying that she's seen something here. I don't know what she's seen. If you know, let me know. I'm out.
I don't know about you, but that looked more of a ritual to me. Lady Gaga is tired of hiding these evil stuff, and she's just showing y'all what they do right before your eyes. Leave alone that. Even the fashion industry be in it, as we saw.
We have an interesting video coming out of the Midwest. This one's weird. What appears to be these unidentified lights light up their neighborhood sky. But the thing is, they have no idea what it's from. But then they hear this noise followed by it. It almost sounds like a gigantic ship up there. But again, what is it? And with things heating up around the world, a lot of people are starting to witness odd different things in our skies, making everybody question what's going on or if something's coming. Take a look at this video, comment below, tell me what you think.
¿Qué es eso? Mira, Tere. ¿Lo oye?
while you were worrying about World War III starting this weekend, NASA decided to share the worst possible news you could imagine by saying the giant spiderwebs they found on Mars now have eggs. Miles of them. Yeah, sure, why not? This news article goes into what they describe as giant spiderwebs on Mars contain tiny egg-like structures that scientists can't quite explain, which, I'm not gonna lie, that scares me a tad. But thankfully, if you scroll past 400 ads, right at the bottom, the article goes into a little bit more depth to explain that actually the spiderwebs and egg-like structures are just geographical formations that look like spiderwebs, which is pretty good news, to be honest, because it means we don't have to go all fucking helldivers this year and get drafted to Mars to fight the bugs. But I'm not gonna lie, the headlines freaked me out for a second. Also, according to what I'm calling the worst news source ever, apparently scientists can't quite explain why the nodules appear in the way that they do. But what I can't quite explain is how this website could possibly call itself one of the biggest and most trusted popular science websites. Cause what a load of shit.
The Anunnaki have a lifespan of 200,000 years. And Anu has been their leader for the last 50,000 years. Anu has two sons, Enlil and Enki. Enlil works with their scientists to figure out that they can save the planet if they spray microscopic gold particles into the atmosphere to reflect the sun's radiation coming through the non-existent ozone. The only problem is they don't have any gold. So they set out searching for planets who do and found Earth. They know Earth has life, but it's just a few primitive bipedal creatures who are less than half the size of the Anunnaki. So they figure if we have to, we can take them. So they send out a party of 300 Anunnaki and 600 Igigi headed to Earth with a mission of setting up a city and mining Earth's gold. The Igigi are actually a separate alien civilization that had been conquered by the Anunnaki many years earlier and made into their own personal slave force. So once they land on Earth in the area that we know today as Mesopotamia, the Anunnaki, under the rule of Anu's son, Enki, put the Igigi to work building a settlement called Eridu, giving them all of 7 days to do it. The Igigi are a little grumpy, but they get it done, and then move on to digging for that gold. And dig they did. For about 150,000 years, with ships arriving regularly to take the gold back to Nibiru. But it's not enough. They need more gold. Enki tells the Igigi, work harder. And what was terrible treatment before gets even worse in trying to get the Igigi to work harder. But the Igigi are done. Under their leader, Atrahasis, the Igigi proclaim, mine your own gold. They collapse the mines and attack the city. They lose and are quickly brought back under control, but the Igigi still refuse to go back to work. Enlil, who's like the top administrator guy, says they're treasonous, they all gotta go. But Enki, more of a science guy, says, slow down, we're not gonna kill them. I got a way better idea. Let's use the locals. They're not really smart enough right now, but if we give them a little of our DNA, I'm sure we can come up with something smart enough to work the mines, but not smart enough to ask questions.
Well, that clip just explained to us why aliens like to take gold from us, but I don't think it was used as she explains. Most probably the Anunnaki came here to expand their empire, but what do y'all think of the spiders living on Mars? Oh my God.
It's an entire Ewe civilization protected within Hollow Earth. Oh, these structures, they look like they've been carved from some enormous quartz crystal. That must be their energy source.
I'm feeling the energy, but let's just keep it together, all right?
Oh my God. It's an undocumented vortex.
Several of them, actually.
Routes to the surface. These could lead all over the Earth.
Oh, wow. It's incredible.
You should make eye contact with them. It's considered polite.
Yeah, this is not working for me. Oh.
user and the host with an Xbox controller. That is what we're dealing with now. This is basically computer programming of nanoscale technology that we are now discovering, that we know that in studies has shown that it has been in the Pfizer vaccine and the mRNA vaccine. It is also in the xylocaine derivatives. You can, in the demonstration that we sent you, you can see Dr. Edo Bachelet's nanorobots next to the xylocaine derivatives, and they're identical. You can look at what's in the studies that show what they were pulling out of the vaccines. You can see that they're identical. So the bottom line is, you know, what can be done with this tech?
Yes, these nanorobots are composed of graphene oxide, and here's what's really interesting. There was a study, and they looked at it under high spectrum microscopy. This is the xylocaine derivatives.
And that's exactly what they find in the COVID shot people.
Correct. These are the nanorobots. Look how similar they look to Dr. Edo Bachelet's robots. And remember, they can carry a payload.
Well, now they admit the new shots are self-replicating.
Correct. Correct.
Which they denied before, now they admit.
Correct. And this was a study that was done, and they've proven that these nanorobots were in the Pfizer and the Moderna vaccine.
Isosceles triangle has two congruent sides.
Shake it, bake it, booty, quake it. That's right. Roll it around, don't fake it. Don't. Shake it, bake it, booty, quake it. Shake it, bake it, booty, quake it. Roll it around, don't fake it. Shake it, bake it, booty, quake it. Roll it around, don't fake it. Shake it, bake it, booty, quake it. Roll it around, don't fake it. Shake it, bake it, booty, quake it. Roll it around. I see you bumping up and down, quaking up my city street. Boys be dropping to the ground, worshiping you at your feet. They be calling, let it loose. Come on, baby, rock the caboose. Rugged cotton, straight to the seams. Come on, baby, show in the jeans. Break it, bake it, booty, quake it. Roll it around, don't fake it. Shake it, bake it, booty, quake it. Roll it around, don't fake it. Shake it, bake it, booty, quake it. Roll it around, don't fake it. Shake it, bake it, booty, quake it. Roll it around.
Yup, if this video of a woman with red fleshy remains in her hair pops up, stop watching, as those who have just watched it have never been seen again, and this is your only warning. People were horrified after a video surfaced of a woman walking into a hair salon with what appears to be dark red fleshy remains soaked through her hair, asking the pregnant stylist to wash it out. And if you see a woman going into a salon like this, get out immediately. Haunting audio from the video can be heard of someone in the back seemingly saying it's voodoo, to which the stylist for some reason washed it out anyway, with eerie warnings that in voodoo texts, hair is considered a direct connection to your spirit, and whoever touches it during a ritual becomes part of it. But it gets stranger, as the pregnant stylist was reported to have lost her daughter the next day after she washed it out, with many in the spiritual community saying the woman who walked in was performing a bad luck exchange to give it to the person who washes the remains out, with a baby as the sacrifice. Now, do you believe this is at all possible or just a coincidence?
This one is for y'all ladies up in here. Always watch out for these things when you do your hair, cause people be stealing your good luck through voodoo out here. Shout out to him for the heads up. Leave us a like down below if you like the video.
Viewers noticed very unusual and unsettling behavior from Cynthia toward Ariana Grande during the latest press tour. In one video, a fan sees Ariana and suddenly tries to run toward her, but Cynthia reacts first, abruptly pushing Ariana out of the scene. Pay attention to how strangely she hugs her afterward. Doesn't that seem suspicious? A similar moment happens with another fan. A young man tells Ariana how much he loves her music and lists his favorite songs, and Ariana moves in to hug him. Now watch Cynthia's reaction. She looks angry or maybe jealous. In another clip, a journalist gets overly emotional, suddenly grabs Ariana's hand and keeps holding it. This persistent contact clearly annoys Cynthia. At that moment, Ariana looks distant, almost emotionless, like a doll. Cynthia immediately grabs Ariana's hand and nearly brings it to her lips, as if trying to calm her down. After that, more and more people started talking about Cynthia's excessive protectiveness toward Ariana. Their behavior, and even the way they look at each other, seem unsettling to some. In another moment, Ariana struggles to open a bottle on the first try. Cynthia notices instantly, watches closely, and seems ready to step in. But Ariana manages to do it herself. So here's the main question. Why does Cynthia react to almost every single movement Ariana makes? And what exactly is she trying to protect her from? Share your opinion in the comments.
It's just a cigarette, and it cannot be that bad.
Honey, don't you love me, and you know it makes me sad.
It's just a cigarette, like you always used to do.
I was different then, I don't need them to be cool. It's just a cigarette, and it harms your pretty lungs.
Well, it's only twice a week, so there's not much of a chance.
It's just a cigarette, it'll soon be only 10.
Honey, can you trust me when I want to stop? I can. It's just a cigarette that I got from Jamie Lee.
Oh, she's gonna get a smack, and I'm gonna give you 3. It's just a cigarette, it will soon be only 10. It'll make you sick, girl, there's not much of a chance.
The speech is already written, and we might just get hit with the biggest reveal of the century. According to a UK filmmaker, a Trump administration insider just told him that a full disclosure speech is planned for July 8th, 2026, where Donald Trump will reveal to the world that we humans are not alone, that aliens are real. The filmmaker Mark Christopher Lee, who's directed his own UFO documentaries like UFO Encounters of the Fifth Kind, claims he personally trusts his insider source, who has been extensively vetted for legitimacy, who says that Trump's speech has already been written, set for July 8th, the anniversary date of the Roswell UFO crash, where he will tell the world for the first time in history that extraterrestrials and UFOs are among us. Conspiracy theorists have been on an absolutely generational run lately, but given Trump's history of being the loose cannon that he is, it's highly possible this disclosure may come out even earlier, or maybe not at all now that this insider has leaked it to the world. It is interesting to note, however, that Steven Spielberg's next big film, Disclosure Day, which comes out just a month before on June 12, 2026, is also about exactly this, a global revelation of extraterrestrial life. Have the UFO transparency hearings, the Nazca mummies, and the normalization of alien sightings in the news over the past few years, and now this movie, all part of their plan to warm us up to quite possibly the biggest revelation in human history.
Let's take a look at today. Today is today's.
What? Bro. I'm so confused. What is happening? Glitching? Glitching. I don't know what's happening.
People have a right to know the truth. It belongs to 7 billion people.
What is it?
You wouldn't believe me if I told you. So I'm gonna show you.
What are you gonna do?
Full disclosure,
bro,
to the whole world. All at once.
Are they aliens?
People keep wondering. Encountering the unknown.
They're coming! They're coming!
They gotta be aliens.
They are starved for the truth.
Do you think there could be others?
Oh.
Why would he make such a vast universe? Yet save it only for us?
I'm sorry. Hold on. I'm trying to figure out what I just watched. Okay, so somebody in the comments correct me if I'm wrong, but I probably am wrong. My take on this is the Emily Blunt and the other guy, the two main characters, they like discovered that the government is doing some type of alien experiment or something like that, and now they're after them, and they're somehow connected to animals. That's what I'm picking up. Like I know this. I heard this movie is something about like UFOs and that kind of stuff. So I'm assuming that when the one dude was staring at the screen and he had the stuff in his mouth, like the mouthpiece, he was like, I think they were testing on him, or like the government or some alien. It's something to do with them discovering that there's aliens amongst people and there's some connection to animals. That's what I gathered.
Given the current situation of how things be going right now, I don't think there will be any disclosure happening soon. Guess we'll just have to wait and see. But I am looking forward to the release of Disclosure Day movie.
Now that you know reptilians walk among us, here are 3 ways to spot one. If someone watching this suddenly gets nervous, well, now we know. Sign number 1. The temperature literally changes when they enter the room. You ever notice someone walk in and suddenly the energy gets cooler? Not emotionally, like the actual room gets cold. Yep, that's a thing people report. Sign number 2. They give off a sense of danger without saying a single word. And you're sitting there and you don't know why. They're not doing anything threatening. Your instincts go, okay, this person could probably run a battlefield. And the 3rd sign. They eat a lot of meat, like a lot. I'm talking 4th of July meals every day, every meal. Everyone else orders a salad, but they're over there ordering 2 steaks. And they ask, what animal did that burger come from? So if someone lowers the temperature, radiates a quiet danger, and destroys a steak in under 4 minutes, you might just have spotted a reptilian. Don't worry though, most of them are afraid to be seen. Have you seen a reptilian walking among us?
Strange lights spotted hovering in the night sky. No one can explain this.
You guys need to watch the intro to this Melanie Martinez concert. This might be one of the creepiest things I have ever seen, especially what she says at the end.
Around 2 a.m. in February 2017, an anonymous person posted on 4chan. The caption read, 24489, taken approximately 24 miles northwest of Luke Air Force Base, Phoenix, Arizona, Lab H4C. Attached was an image of what appeared to be an alien, and it was only visible for seconds before the entire site crashed. And when it came back online, the post was gone. They had scrubbed everything, there was no more picture. They said it didn't look like the classic gray. It had dark yellowish skin. It was dry, dehydrated, fine-scaled, almost reptilian. A head large at the top and narrowing sharply at the jaw. Some remembered shriveled, pruned eyelids. Others said the eyes reflected the flash and looked massive and dark. It had tiny, tight lips, a faint smirk, an expression that looked aware, like it knew it was being photographed. And the background was a pitch-black desert, lit only by a powerful camera flash. Some even remembered a dead tree or dry desert bushes off to one side. And what makes it really creepy isn't just all the details, it's how real they say it looked. They say it didn't look like CGI or a quick Photoshop job. They said it looked organic, textured, disturbingly authentic. People often call it the alien selfie. After that happened, people tried to recover it. They searched archive sites, They checked automated capture logs. Some people even claim they got partial screenshots. And other people have recreated it from memory. There's a whole bunch of different versions that have been circulating for years. Some people claim they've recovered fragments of the original image. There's still no confirmed official file, but if part of it was saved before the crash, it's possible pieces of the real image were mixed in with later recreations, which means one of the versions floating around today might actually contain fragments of the original. We just don't know which one.
That concert with Melanie straight up gives the chills and feels like she was channeling something. I can't imagine the look on the fans when this was happening, but what do y'all think of that alien he just described? Might have been true.
So this guy basically steals millions of dollars from Netflix. Now the guy's name is Carl, and Carl's around 35 when this story starts, and he's living in Los Angeles, and Carl works in entertainment, mostly directing commercials for big brands like Mercedes and Heineken and stuff like that, which is great for him, but here's the thing. What he really wants is to direct big budget TV shows and movies. And one day, he gets the chance to do just that. Because Universal Studios hires him to direct an action movie called 47 Ronin. And 47 Ronin isn't some small indie film. This is gonna have a budget of over $170 million. And it's gonna star Keanu Reeves. And for Carl, this is everything. It's his first real chance at Hollywood. I mean, he can't mess this up. And so he gets to work and production begins. But almost immediately, things start to fall apart. Partly because Carl insists that each scene of the movie should be shot twice. Once in English and the other in Japanese, because most of the actors in the movie are Japanese natives. The problem with this is that this screws up the production. The movie now costs twice as much to shoot. It also complicates the whole movie editing process. And so of course the producers and financiers of the movie are not happy about this. And so Carl is eventually removed from the editing process altogether. And if things couldn't get worse for him, once 47 Ronin finally comes out, it is a disaster. Not only does the movie bomb, but it gets destroyed by critics, earning a whopping 16% on Rotten Tomatoes. So, his big movie flops. And just like that, Carl's dream of being a big Hollywood director collapses. So, what does he do? Well, he goes back to directing commercials and, making money that way. But he isn't about to give up on Hollywood just yet. He's convinced that all he needs is one more shot. So pretty quickly, he starts working on a new project with this woman, Gabriella. Gabriella is actually Carl's wife. So they start working on a sci-fi series called White Horse, and it's got humanoids and robots in it and stuff like that, so it sounds pretty cool. And Carl actually finances it himself, and eventually they start shooting it. And so this ends up being a great little passion project for him. Like, it's fun and it keeps him busy, but after a while, he's able to make 6 short episodes, each around 4 to 10 minutes long. Here's actually a still frame of one of them, so you can see that it's like a sci-fi thing. But then, over time, Carl decides that White Horse isn't just going to be a passion project, it's going to be his big comeback. So he takes those short episodes and he uses them to pitch the show to every major streaming platform that he can think of. He apparently wants one of these places to finance it so that he can make it into a full-length, long-form series. And one of the places he pitches the show is Netflix. Now, I don't know what the executives at Netflix actually look like, but I assume they look like this. So the Netflix execs, they hear this pitch and they actually like it. And they agree to fund White Horse. And they send over some initial funding of millions of dollars, and in 2018, Carl and his team, they begin shooting in Brazil and Uruguay and Hungary and some other places. But now here's where it all starts to fall apart. Because, as it turns out, being a creator, director, and producer of a big budget TV series is actually a really stressful job. And over time, this stress really gets to Carl. And he starts abusing his ADHD medication, which can apparently cause mania. And soon enough, people on set start noticing changes in his behavior. Like he's constantly shouting and cursing at people and lashing out at all the crew members. And over time, he becomes completely erratic. Like, he even starts accusing Gabriella, his own wife, of plotting to have him assassinated. In fact, he gets so crazy that eventually Gabriella, some of Carl's family members, and other crew members all get together and they stage an intervention, which apparently ends up not working at all. So anyway, more time passes, and it's now 2020. And by this point, Netflix has already put in $44.3 million into Carl's project. But despite that, somehow, Carl's production is out of money. I'm guessing they spent it all on production costs and stuff. So he has to go back to the Netflix execs and ask for more. And they initially say no, but Carl tells them that if they don't give him more, that he can't finish the project at all. So Netflix kind of has no choice. They don't want their investment to go to waste, so they wire him $11 million more. Now, at this point, Carl could try and finish up his production and maybe make Netflix a cool sci-fi show, and maybe he'll become the successful Hollywood director that he's always wanted to be. But that's not what Carl does. Instead, he takes that $11 million Netflix sent him and he transfers it to his personal stock trading account, and he starts trading options and going all in, making extremely risky trades. And within just a couple of weeks, of that $11 million Netflix gave him, he loses $5.9 million of it. Oh no, but he's not done yet. Then he moves the remaining money into a cryptocurrency trading account, and he buys millions of dollars worth of a meme coin that you've probably heard of called Dogecoin. Here's the crazy thing though. This gamble actually pays off. Dogecoin spikes, and the $4 million that he put in shoots up to $27 million. Crazy lucky bastard over here. So now he's got some options. He could put this money into his production or even pay Netflix back the $11 million that they just gave him. But of course, that's not what he does. Instead, he goes on a spending spree. He buys 5 Rolls Royces, a Ferrari. He spends over $650,000 on watches and clothes. He buys 2 mattresses, 2, that cost $638,000. What? Then he spends an extra $295,000 on luxury bedding and linens. Then he spends about $400,000 on luxury hotels and rental properties. He also pays off about $1.8 million in personal credit card debt. Meanwhile, while he's doing all this crazy spending, he keeps assuring the Netflix execs that production of the series is progressing and that everything is going fine. But of course, it is not going fine. Because apparently at this point, shooting has completely stopped. And around this time, Carl's behavior spirals even further out of control. He starts leaning into crazy conspiracy theories. He claims that he has the ability to predict lightning strikes and volcanic eruptions. One time he tells his wife, Gabriella, that airplanes are organic, intelligent beings sent to greet him. And all of this is happening during COVID. So he also starts claiming that he found a way to map the coronavirus signals coming from within the Earth. Like, what? And at some point during all this, Gabriella just gets fed up with all of Carl's crazy bullshit, and she's like, screw it, I'm not gonna deal with this anymore. And she goes to Netflix and she tells them all about what's been going on with him, and she also files for divorce. So the Netflix execs, they take all this information in, and they realize that Carl either isn't going to be able to finish the project or has no intention of finishing the project. Either way, in 2021, they inform him that they will no longer be funding his project. However, but that he is free to take the project to another streaming platform and sell it as long as the new owner reimburses Netflix for the money that they've spent. And again, Carl could reimburse them with the millions of dollars in Dogecoin money that he now has, but for whatever reason, he doesn't. Instead, he just gets super pissed off and he goes and he hires a lawyer and he files a lawsuit against Netflix for breaching their contract. But unfortunately for him, they go to arbitration and Carl actually loses. And in fact, the arbiter rules that he actually owes Netflix $11.8 million. Not only that, but federal prosecutors get involved, and they end up charging Carl with wire fraud and money laundering for taking millions of dollars of Netflix's money and not spending it on the production. And so, bam, he gets arrested. And I don't have a mugshot, but here's a picture of him in real life. And so ultimately, Carl goes to trial, and he's found guilty, and he actually hasn't been sentenced yet. His sentence isn't until next year.
Shout out to Ray William for the great story right there. Shows how money can make someone crazy. I mean, he could have just paid Netflix with the money he won from crypto, or let someone else handle the money.
In the late 1980s, a man in his 20s named Norm walked into a house party in the Hollywood Hills, which is a very exclusive and pricey neighborhood in Los Angeles, California. In this house, which was filled with people, there were all these actors and entertainers and Hollywood-type people, and Norm, who was this kind of scruffy guy with long stringy hair and had no experience in the entertainment industry, knew he did not fit in here at all. In fact, Norm never would have been at a party like this, if not for what had happened to him just a few hours earlier. So that afternoon, Norm had gotten into a fight with his boss at the motorcycle shop where he worked, that turned into Norm getting fired. And so after getting fired, Norm left the shop and just began aimlessly walking around Los Angeles until he wound up running into one of his friends. And over the course of this conversation where Norm's like, yeah, I got fired, the friend was like, oh, well, tonight there's going to be this big party up in the Hollywood Hills. Why don't you come along? And so Norm went and found his friend in the house party, and for a little while, the party was pretty great. Except Norm just couldn't shake the anger he felt about getting fired. And so to cope with this, Norm just began drinking really heavily, like way more than anybody else at this party. And before long, Norm was completely plastered drunk. But it would turn out, getting totally smashed did not calm Norm down. In fact, if anything, it only made him more blind with rage about what had happened to him. And so naturally what he did is he departs his friend and pushes through the crowd of people, and he goes up to the second floor where there was this balcony that overlooked where basically everybody in the house was. And Norm, he screams out to the crowd of these people that he doesn't even know to stop what they're doing and listen to him. And everyone did. They turned around and looked up at this guy like, what's going on here? And Norm just begins delivering this totally angry rant that kind of didn't even make any sense. I mean, he's drunk, but he's basically ranting about how mad he is and this horrible injustice that's been done to him. And suddenly he felt a tap on his shoulder, and he turned around and he saw there was this person he didn't recognize. And this person says to Norm, hey, have you ever considered acting in a play? It would turn out that person was a Hollywood producer, and they were putting on a play in LA. And they really liked Norm's look, the whole kind of scruffy vibe, but even more as they watched him deliver that totally angry, drunken rant that he managed to get all these people to listen to, that it was obvious he had natural charisma and he could command an audience even when the audience had no idea what he was talking about. And so ultimately, this producer literally offered Norm an acting job, and Norm, who really didn't have aspirations to be an actor, but now needed a job because he had just been fired that day, he agreed. He said, okay, I'll act in your play. And so Norman would act in this play, and he would do such a good job, despite the fact that he totally was not an actor, that he gets noticed by other Hollywood producers and casting directors, and before long, he lands his starring role in the mega hit TV show, The Walking Dead. Norm's full name is Norman Reedus.
Arnold Schwarzenegger is coming out in a new Predator movie, and it's Predator 7. Now let's watch this new trailer. I loved all the Predator movies so far, and I cannot wait for Predator 7.
Walked out of that jungle.
Look at my boy Arnold.
And the jungle never forgot.
So he's back in the new Predator movie. Let's go.
They came from the stars.
Oh yeah, my boy Arnold's looking good still, y'all.
Not to destroy.
Oh, I can't wait.
But to hunt. And the ones who survived.
And there's Predator.
The ones who fought back. Their blood was
The hunt never ended?
Their scent remembered across galaxies.
Oh no.
Now.
And we got Dwayne Johnson? No way, y'all.
But many.
And comment down below and let me know which Predator movie was your guys' favorite. But Arnold is back in Predator 7.
Hunting the only prey that ever made
Oh,
them
let's
bleed.
go, y'all.
He buried that nightmare deep.
This new trailer is looking really good so far. Oh, sheesh, y'all.
The darkness.
And we got Dwayne Johnson. Comment down below if you're gonna go watch Predator 7.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, here we go. Nice.
Now that was a fun one, right? I mean, those clips were crazy. Thanks so much for watching this episode of Chill Spot. If you loved what you saw, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Trust me, we've got even more epic content coming, and you won't want to miss the next one. See you soon.